Attention, the following video is going to totally kick ass. If you enjoy any of it and or have a large penis, please click the like button below. Enjoy.
Everybody know what time it is, I'm going in like open doors. Hit another gear and then it's spilling out like open drawers. Doper than a fiend, cleaner than soap, and every time I flow
What is going on, guys? I am Nobody Epic, and this is Awkward Situations, the series where you guys write your real, true-life awkward situations in the comments. I bring them up in a video, dissect them, tell you how they relate to my life, and maybe there's a little bit of advice at the end, but I'm not going to give advice on things I don't really know about. I'm always honest with you guys, and I can tell when they're not real awkward situations, by the way, guys. I've been seeing those fake awkward situations, and I don't like them. Because I know that none of you guys have ever gotten your dick sucked by a teacher. Some of them are like, God, my teacher got so mad at me for cheating on the test, yo. So she held me in the classroom, tied my hands up with twisty ties, and sucked my dick till my cum shot out her nose like it was dragon fire breath. You know what I'm saying, dog? And it's obviously not true because it's misspelled and stuff. And if you are able to get a teacher to suck your penis, I think you're going to be good at spelling at least. I don't know. That's kind of maybe a stereotype that I have in my head. But yeah, so just write your real life awkward situations in the comments, and we'll talk about them in a video and have a great time, guys. And this is a longer gameplay. I know some of you guys were complaining because the last awkward situations I did, it was a little bit shorter, but this is a longer one. Normally I like to find a more happy medium of 5 to 6 minutes, but I have plenty to talk about for today's awkward situation, so let's get into it right now. Today's awkward situation comes to us via Max Griffin NZ. He said, some years ago I was staying over at a friend's house. When morning came, I woke up but was still half asleep. I could make out he was awake, but I was still pretty tired and dozed back to sleep. When I woke up again, still half asleep, he was measuring up my dick through my PJ pants. It was too awkward for me to say anything, so I sort of just rolled over and pretended to wake up. I still haven't said anything some years later. Alright, so there's a lot of different things I could talk about here, and what I wanted to do, what I've been liking doing with awkward situations lately is giving the advice portion first, and I like doing it for this awkward situation in particular because you sound like you already have a little bit of closure, but there is just a remark I wanted to give on it, and then I wanted to talk about sleepovers and the awkward situations that happen sleepovers. Many sleepovers in my day, so I could talk about that, but the advice portion I guess I wanted to give, I've talked about this in an awkward situation like I said, but I was at my friend's house one time and we were just playing around. I don't know, it was a weekend day and we were playing inside because it was rainy out, and we were trying to figure out what to do. We were bored, you know, we're like, damn, I'm bored, what are we gonna do? And I probably suggested a board game like checkers or something, and he was like, hey, let's just go take all our clothes off in a room. And I was like, how do you win that game? Like, I was just like, and yeah, so I didn't choose to do that game, but that was really awkward to be asked to play that game. And I do not really know this friend now. I think he moved away. It's not like I was like mad at him. I, to this day, have no problem with gay people, and I'm very open to homosexuality, as you can tell by me and my friends talking about dicks all the time, because it's just really not that big of a deal. It's a huge, I mean, it's a part of life, and especially in modern society. But I wasn't offended by that, and I still went over to his house a normal amount of times. I think we just made it clear that I preferred checkers to naked fun time that day. So that was a good boundary to be able to draw the line of in our friendship. And I think if you met this person and talked to him about it, or well, not necessarily, don't be like, hey, remember that time you measured my dick at a sleepover? How big was it? But I think you would find as an adult, this person would be no different than any other person. And I think if you ever wanted, not that you necessarily need to, but if you ever wanted to talk to him, I don't think it would be awkward for you unless you were extremely traumatized by this event. But I just, people when they're kids, they just have trouble figuring out sexuality and all that stuff, and it's kind of a taboo topic in modern society, so they have to figure it out by themselves, and then some weird shit happens. So I don't think it's a big deal, and maybe you'll talk to this guy someday, but I wanted to talk about some awkward situations I've had. Okay, so like I said, my friends and I had many a sleepover when I was younger, and we just like doing that. We're a tight-knit group, so that's what we did, and many awkward situations happened during these times, some good, some bad. I think I'll tell the bad one first, and I have a couple of good and or I don't really know if it was good, bad, or funny awkward situations, but yeah, let me just get into it. The bad one I remember is my friend was having a birthday party, and he had one of those houses we would always go to when we wanted to have sleepovers because he had a larger house and a lot of land, so it was always really fun over at his house. And we had our sleeping bags, we were going to bed or whatever, probably really late at night, And I remember I was in my sleeping bag, and I woke up the next morning, and I was all wet, and I was like, oh shit, it rained or something. I don't know what my first thought was, but I was all wet, and I like checked my, I mean, just like my top half was wet, so I obviously didn't like piss all over myself if just my top half was wet, unless something really fucked up happened, and that was a medical issue that kind of scared me. Maybe it crossed my brain for half a second, but I looked over and my friend was wide awake staring at me, and he had kind of a concerned look on his face, and I think he had urinated all over himself, very much so, and it had got both of us wet. And yeah, that's tough. I didn't really, we kind of had this, without speaking, because we didn't want to wake a bunch of people up, we had this look like we need to do something about this situation. And I was obviously covered in urine, so I was kind of like, this kind of sucks, but I think we can work this out so it doesn't affect everyone. So I don't know, I think I got some newspaper or something, and I like covered all this stuff up, and it was mostly just on our sleeping bags, because our sleeping bags were like right next to each other, so that was kind of gay. So I was able to soak most of it up, and none of our other friends woke up in this time, so we avoided any mass embarrassment. And I just got a little bit of urine on me, which is fine because it was my first golden shower and it was my last one, but you know, you got to try things in life once, so that was awkward bad. And also another awkward situation that I just remembered off the top of my head that happened at that house was maybe not even too long later. It might have been in the same year. We were outside playing, and in Michigan, it's fun to play outside because it's not always warm. So when it is, it's really fun. And this, I do know this was the fall, like the fall time when it was still warm. And we were playing a game called Ghosts in the Graveyard. I don't know if you've heard of it. I don't know if this is like a known game or if we just made this up or some shit. But basically, somebody would walk around, and I don't even remember the rules. Everybody hid except for one person. It was pitch black out, and if you like found someone or something, you would look for the people hiding. If you found someone, you'd say like "Ghost in the Graveyard," and everybody would run, and the last one back behind like our finish line would lose. I don't know. It was a lot scarier at the time. So yeah, now I'm making myself sound like a pussy because I was like, God damn, that game was scary back in the day, but now it sounds like a bitch game. Anyway, so we were playing this game, and one of the kids who was searching for us, I was one of the guys hiding, I remember, but whatever, he found me, and I mean, it's supposed to be kind of scary, like, I wasn't trying to fucking, you know, rape the kid, but I was on top of a tree, not really high, because I'm tall, I'm able to get a little bit up on the tree, and I jumped down, he found me, and I jumped down, I was like, ah! I wasn't trying to, like, rape him, but he was like, ah! And he was supposed to say Ghosts in the Graveyard, but instead he said, ah! And he fell down, and he urinated on himself, so that was a little more embarrassing than the first one. I probably should have said that first, but there's a couple of bad urine stories, I guess, but that was awkward. It's like, oh, I wanted to act like it wasn't a big deal, so I just kind of ran back to the finish line, and he was last again, so I think he was supposed to search again, but the game might have ended after that, so yeah. But maybe I'll tell the good awkward situation so you guys don't think my life is a bunch of urine stories and sleepovers. The best awkward situation, a moment I will remember for a little while, and I already hope that people I know people I know might watch my videos, who knows, but I've already stayed with my friends. This was a good night. So we were hanging out at one of our friends' house. It was kind of like a guy-girl thing. I wouldn't say like a party because there wasn't any, I don't know if there's any music playing, and maybe we were drinking like tropical Sprite. Who even knows? It doesn't even fucking matter at this point. And I don't even know who came up with this idea, but we just had this idea between the guys and the girls. And these, by the way, these were not unattractive girls. Like, literally, I'm not trying to make myself sound like I'm a better person than myself, but we all have these moments, so I can say this. These were the hottest girls in my grade and in my school. And I mean, we were okay guys. I mean, we weren't like the shit, but I mean, we were all the jocks, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't a faggot though, but we were all the jocks. And, you know, we were just hanging out, and somebody had the idea, like, we should all take our clothes off and just run around. And this might not be the most hardcore sounding shit to you, but I'm not thinking of stuff that happens in high school, because I'm not talking about that. I know not a lot of people or, you know, maybe some are, but I don't know if all my viewers are in high school, but I'm just trying to relate to that middle school stuff. And we just had this idea, I can't remember who, but they were just like, hey, we should just all take our clothes off and walk around outside of the house in the middle of the night. And someone was like, oh, that's a good idea. And then all the girls took their clothes off. So that was awesome. Or at least their shirts. And then we kind of did, I mean, some of us, you know, it's like, hey guys, let's not touch penises. So we kind of, I think we might have had towels or something to protect our penises from touching other penises. But there was nothing protecting the titties. And you remember the first time you see a titty, guys. Just write your awkward situations or the first time you saw titties in the comments, because it's a glorious time. I will never forget that for the rest of my life. And hopefully there's other more memorable things than that happened in my life. But it was good. I saw many titties. On my first time I saw real life titties, it was a plethora of titties. It was like titty buffet. So I think I'm just going to end on that. Have a great day, guys. Awkward Situations is over. Peace.
I'm a tsunami, a super soaker. I poke her by my circle like a euchre deck. I take the jokers out and nothing lower than a 9, cause a 9 make you appreciate a dime. I'll be